for Jin for now, real quick. Now that my friend Redeemer is here, if he wants to chime in like he's been, he just kicked my ass earlier. So Jin is a poking machine. He's got a really good pokes in general. This is down forward 1, 13 frames. I believe it's -1 on block. I'm gonna double check that real quick. Jin down forward +1. They buffed it to -1 on block in Tekken Tag 2. According to RB Norway, it's -3 now. How can I test that? I would have to. Let me change it to Jin versus Jin. Best way to test frame data. I should have put this on the PC version. It loads much faster. Wallace. Infinite stage. Can he sidestep the second hit of the hop kick? John, I did not try that. I wish he asked me that before I switched. The Twitch delay, man. I did not try that because I know you're asking because you can do that for Elisa. What you should check also, well, I mean, I'll check it after this, is if you could parry the second hit. Alright. So, let's see if it's true that they nerfed down forward 1. Oops, he has a back. So if I exchange with him right now, then it will be right. Yeah, it's -3. That's unfortunate. It's not a big deal. -3 is fine. It's just it was cool that you know it's worse than your typical down forward 4 poke. They get like Dragonos, for example, is -2 on block, and a lot of the other down forward ones that are 13 frame mid pokes are only -1 on block. -3, you can still move around. You can do whatever the fuck you want. Generally, up to like -4, you're able to still move around on block fairly well. It's at -5 that things start getting a little hairy. Certain jabs, depending on which direction you move, a left jab will track towards the left side, or a right jab will track towards the right side at -5. Either way it goes, the thing about Jin's down forward 1 is you could use it as a poke, right? But then he has these 2 built-in follow-ups. That's a natural combo on normal hit, and because it causes that spin, it wall splats. And that's like a heavy frame advantage in general, which you can easily set up with like a forward 4. They're still in range for that. And I don't think you could sidestep the 4-4 because that's such a heavy frame advantage. Let's see. Right? Nope. He barely started the sidestep animation. Nope. So forward 4 is a 100% frame trap there, but in Jin's specific case, he could not low parry. He could standing parry. So that's a Jin unique thing. So about that parry, this is like probably the best parry in the game. Because it's like freeform. Like if you played Wang in Tag 2, you know Wang was forced to use like some specific moves out of his parry. Jin is like freeform. Whatever the recovery of the move is that he parries, it determines how badly he could punish it. So for example, that big ass spin kick, right? Like let's say if I just do a standing jab into a standing 4. That standing 4, which also causes that spin, FYI. Keep in mind, every time you see that spin, it's always the same frame advantage for you as far as I know. People like, I think they determine that's around +10 frame advantage. So forward 4 is still a setup in that situation. Anyway, so this standing 4 of his, which is one of the best homing moves in the game, also 13 frame high homing move, it's actually -9 on block. But if you look at that shit on whiff, he does that big ass animation. So the thing about Jin's parry is he still does that whole animation off of the parry. All the parry does is Jin moves out of the way, but then the rest of the move still animates. So because of that, you're gonna be able to fucking, you know. Oh wow, that recovers faster than it looks. So in this case, it doesn't work, but I'm too early. Wow, I feel like they improved this whiff. Like this is probably better on whiff now. I feel like this was possible before. I did get the jab before. Alright, so can I get a down forward 1? I could. I cannot get a hop kick though. I cannot get 14 frames. Yeah, I could get 13. That's exactly 13 frames for Jin, which is funny because that's how much the move takes the impact. What's up, Naranagi? John, hold on a second. Here you go, John. Let me hit you with the mod. So anyway, that's how his parry generally works. Depending on the move's animation, that determines how bad he can punish it. So you got to kind of familiarize yourself with when it's best to go for like can-cans, because if they're able to block this, that's launch punishable. Although hop kick is good now too, because it does a full launch now. So like I said before, Jin's punishments 2-4 is 10 frames, right? 1+2 is 12 frames. Forward 1+2 is 14 frames. Down forward 1-4 is 13 frames. Electric is also 14 frames, and hop kick is 15 frames. I think can-cans are 16 frames. I'm not sure. So going back to down forward 1, which is what I was talking about before. I went on that tangent. So 13 frames. He gets that follow-up. So that's why when you're using this in the neutral, just as a poke, that -3 matters a little bit less when you always have the threat of following it up with that. So the thing about it is that's a mid-high, so your opponent could duck that, right? If they block the first hit and then they know it's coming, they could duck that and then launch you. You know? Do whatever the combo is. So the thing about that is he has another built-in follow-up, down forward 1-4-4, and that starts to juggle on normal hit. So what you want to get to, if you want to think about this in an anti-Jin sort of way, is there's a window where you could duck it if he does the 4 and then stand block on reaction when he does that cancel. And that's kind of where you want to go with this. When you're dealing with Jin players that are abusing this. In general, though, it's still a really good tool. As long as you're not too predictable with it, it's just a thing you throw out every once in a while that's really high reward, and it is safe on block. I think it pushes back a lot, too. Yeah, it pushes back quite a bit. So it not only is it safe on block, even if that shit was like -9, that wouldn't matter at this range. So you're good. Can is 15? Okay, so can this is actually 15 frames. I thought it was 16 for some reason. So anyway, you should make the post shower look like your main. I don't really do the customization thing there, Nagi. Stop distracting me with your shitty fucking suggestions. All right. So, Jin's down forward 1 will be your primary mid poke. And like I always say, in Tekken, you want that one mid poke and you want that one low poke, go to low poke to go with jab. Universally, jab is +1 on block unless you're jack. Unless you jack again, jabs are 10 frames. They're universally, 99% at least of the cast, can start their offense off of a jab. Jab into jab is always a frame trap, always remember. So jab is +1 on block into a 13 frame mid poke, means the only way they can interrupt it is with a 10 or 11 frame move. In general, for the most part, outside of maybe 2 instances, Ling Xiaoyu and Yoshimitsu, there are no mid hitting moves in the game that are 10 or 11 frames. So when you know that, then you'll know that you could use something like this to bait them to jab you, right? Jab into down forward 1. And then when they jab you, you crush high. Whether it's a duck into a while standing launcher, or it's a sidestep to avoid the jab, or in Jin's case, he has a high crushing low poke. So one thing I noticed about this poke is down +4. It's a good poke, right? Because it crushes highs. That's always good. It is negative on hit, -5, I believe. But look at how it pushes back. So especially if you hit it from a range like this, you're one backdash away from making a lot of shit with. So that's a really, the -5 is not such a big deal in this specific case. I have my hair tied back. Let me see let me make sure it's still -5 on hit. Wow, question mark. Thanks, RB Norway. It is, they're saying it's -13 on block, and I had heard that they buffed it in this game. I don't know if that's true, though. Let's see if while standing on 2. Yeah, -13? Ooh. John, you see this? They buffed that move. That used to be like -14 on block. So Jin would be able to launch it. That's good shit. If you want a less risky low, He has one and one.
Buy some more soul glow, yeah, filthy animal.
Oh shit! I forgot that I put that as my donation notification. Yo, that scared the shit out of me. Thanks a lot, Minuteman. I was like, what the fuck is going on with my computer? I appreciate it. I didn't even catch the donation message. What did he say? Motherfucker. I appreciate it greatly. You're my first donation. And you know what they say about you first. It's your most special. You remember it forever. I don't know how to look up the donation message. Either way it goes, I appreciate it greatly. You just bought me big dinner for 2 days. I knew you would like that one, John. Anyway, alright, so I was talking about lows. So down +4, like I said, it's only -13, so it got buffed ever since Tag 2. It's still unsafe, obviously. Kazuya could launch -13 with while standing. I don't know. Bruce isn't in the game, and I don't know if Josie still has Bruce's 13 frame while standing launcher. Assuming that she does, then Josie would be another one. What I'm getting at is, in general, -13 lows are not going to get launched on block. But it could be low parried, and low parried is always like a semi juggle, because you get the fucking bound effect and you can still do a full juggle, but it's not going to be full damage juggle. It's going to be like 20 damage removed from a typical juggle because there's no launcher to start the juggle, right? Swig of water for the working man. So down 4 is also 15 frames in speed, I believe. $5 big dinner strat. It's called buying hot pockets. It's a 16 frame startup, in case you're wondering the startup, but the startup it doesn't matter too much as long it's fast enough to be a good low poke. 16 is fine. It's great. So if you want something that gives some frame advantage, is a little slower, but it's actually safer. Down back +4. This is +3 on hit, and if you space it from back here, it's actually safe. So if I record Jin doing like a jab, it's a down back 4, right? I punish it from that range, right? Let me try to get like a good spacing here. Oh, maybe they nerfed this. Johnny boy, they nerfed it. Yeah, okay, so they nerfed it. Before, this would not have hit him. Now you could always hit him. All right, well let's see how bad it is on block then. Ooh, 13. Oh, -13. So this got nerfed. This is still a good low. The only thing is it doesn't crush highs. Keep that in mind, and you notice it's kind of slow. Those are the downsides if you're going using this against this. You use this if you really have them scared because of Jin's like poking and shit. And you just throw that out, and then when you throw this out, this is a sort of frame trap. It exchanges with jabs. It's only +3, and this standing 4 becomes really good if they do a standing jab in exchange. It always was really good because before he would get a unique situation, but now there's a mechanics change in this game. If you exchange moves on the same frame, they retain counter hit properties. So I want to see what that means for this setup, this classic Jin setup. Into that. What happens if I exchange jabs? It looks like he gets a free juggle, doesn't it? Yep, counter hit juggle now. And the cool thing about that is this normally on counter hit, I don't know if he gets a juggle off of it. He gets like that picks up, but it picks up in a weird way. Oh, I guess he does, but he gets that weird ass angle. Oops, I don't even know how I did that. That's a new move. Well, what am I doing standing for? Okay, so he easily gets like a semi-universal. I think some characters still fall out of that. I'm not sure. Like I said, really good high homing move. And now, before he didn't get a universal combo for it, it looks like now he might. Back 2-1 picks up now. Either way it goes, in that situation where we exchanged, because I hit him out of that animation, but you still get the counter hit properties, I bet you he gets a better juggle. Thing is, I don't know how I could set it. It's hard to set up with a dummy. You need to set it up with a friend, I think. Well, let me see. If I record... Yeah, nah. It'll be too hard to record. Either way it goes, I'm sure he gets a better juggle. What would happen before is it wouldn't retain counter hit properties, but you would hit him out of the recovery of that standing 4, and you would get hit with that animation. Well, you didn't have that. It had a different animation where they would get hit in the face and it would like lean back like that. When that happens, he got this for free. A full launch, and it did a shitload of damage. Now he just gets that exchange, the counter hit happens, and he probably got a better juggle. Yeah, Hot Pockets are shitty, but those are poor man's food, man. I'm a poor man. I'm in the projects over here. Trying to beg for fucking glorious donations and shit. Not really, I'm not begging. Anyway. So, this is a really good low. It is negative 13 on block, though. Keep that in mind. If you space it, some of the 13 frame while standing punishers might whiff. So that's one thing worth noting. Is it still the low? It is. So let's see. Maybe not Jin's. Yeah, no, it seems like they nerfed that thing really good. You get a pretty consistent punish on it. That's good to see. Because fuck Jin, that's why. Anyway, so those are the two low pokes. You got down back 4, down back 4. Go to mid poke, down forward 1. And of course he's got hop kick. You know about that, right? And he has one of the best homing moves in the game that takes care of your tracking. He has electric, which the universal rule for electric is they track really well towards the right. You want to sidestep electric left. His electric follows the same rule. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's supposed to be easier on the 2P side. Scrub. You see this shit? Okay. This is why you need to learn the electrics if you want to learn the matchups, because you need to be able to record it so you can train against it. I was doing it fine on the 1P side too. In my defense, I am using a new E-Toki stick that I still haven't broken in. Oh boy. Look at this. Easy as fuck on the 1P side. All day long. Alright. We realign. This is ridiculous. I never fucked up electric this many times in a row since I started actually getting it down. Damn. Alright. Woo! Other direction for Jin? You sure about that? Maybe you're right. Oh, Jin is the anti-Mishima, so you sidestep right for Jin. Go figure. Well, sidestep left is the case with every single other Mishima, including double Jin. But I guess since he has that hook fist, that doesn't make sense because it's a hook fist, but you know, in Tekken, that kind of shit doesn't always make sense. Hook moves don't track the way they're supposed to track in a real fucking fight. But in Jin's case, you sidestep right. I didn't know this. This is a good thing. This is why I like doing this kind of stuff. I gotta correct myself. Everybody else learns. I learn. Stop being a scrub, right? So, Jin also does have a bootleg hell sweep. So hell sweeps for the other characters generally like 17 frames. Jin's is fucking slow as shit, though. Not seeable though. I don't think it's seeable at least. It's maybe edge case seeable if you're on some fucking drugs and you're really hyper focused or some shit. But this shit is like 21 frames or something like that. Super punishable on block, but Jin does get a full not a full juggle, but he does get like some sort of bootleg juggle out of it. You know, he has a couple of different pickups. Maybe that for Oki during ground break. I don't know. I don't know what the best one is anymore. Doesn't he have a new thing out of CDS? That, and that causes that, so... Right? There's more damage than back to 1 pickup. What's up, Zephyrin? How's it going, amigo? So the thing about Hell Sweeps for the other Mishima is they also lose a sidestep left. I don't know if that's the case for Jin, so let's record and find out. This is really slow. Yeah, so Jin is just... Yeah. Which also visually makes sense, but remember, in Tekken, when something seems like it visually makes sense, don't assume. Test every time. So you could walk it and step, probably. Nope, you gotta walk it. Make sure he clears the whole move. The only thing about how slow, when this move is slow, is there are times where, like when I was fighting you earlier, John, I would duck, like he's gonna do it now, and I'm like, oh, he didn't do it, stand, and then he would still do it and hit me in the later frames, because I didn't stay ducking long enough. Either way it goes, you see how bad this shit is on block? You know, you can do that neutral hop kick. I love how he's like, oh, he blocked me, like he makes like he winces in pain because he blocked this fucking kick, breaking his shit. That's your high risk. That's high risk low number 1. The more rewarding high risk low. The less rewarding high risk low is CDS, which is a stance I will talk about in a second. But back +1 4. Whenever you go into the stance of +4, you get this big ass sweep. I think this is guaranteed, but you can also do crazy shit like that, which I don't know if that's guaranteed, but it is more damage. You see 21 as opposed to 19. And this crushes highs, obviously, but the thing about it is when he gets weird sweeps like this, where the character's upper body leans far down to the floor, at certain distances, they will go under mids too, and it's very fucking annoying. And Jin has it. I don't know if I can record it in a way to set that up. I'll try. Let me just jab into it. Let's see. Oh. Let's get the right spacing for it. Oh. So Jin's down forward 1 has like a decent hitbox. So it won't happen here. So when I say something goes under mids, that's not a universal rule. Some mids just don't have as good hitboxes as others. Like this would lose to AOP still, even though it's hitting him ahead of this. That just beat me out. So alright, maybe I don't know, what's a good mid I could try? No, it's 1 + 2. Maybe forward 3? Yeah, not so much about that. Talk about the combo. Sidestep right CDS 4 while standing 2. What's the combo? You could combo out of CDS 4? I don't know. You're gonna have to tell me that one, John. Is it at an angle? Oh, when you hit this off axis, he gets a little juggle. What is the juggle? Alright, so for those of you new to Tekken, when I'm saying axis, in case you couldn't tell what that means already, here we're even, aligned on axis, X, Y axis, Y, X, right? We're aligned on the X axis and the Z axis, which is the 3D axis. Here, if I move off right to the Z axis, we're off axis, but you see Jin is still facing that way. So what ends up happening is if this Jin were to press a button, unless it's a tracking or homing button, he would be swinging in that direction. Which actually is a part of Oki in this game, for people that match during Oki. I'll get to that later though. So the thing about 3D hurt boxes with 3D models, the way the hurt boxes work is you get weird shit that like, oh, when off axis you'll get this kind of juggle because his legs will be at a certain angle, so he'll get hit by shit that he wouldn't usually get hit by. In this case, you see that shit because of the way it swept him? It turned his whole fucking body around. That doesn't happen normally. His head is like right there. But in this case, his body's off to the side. You see? His head is pointing towards the screen. But when we're on axis, his head's pointing towards me. So because of that, I could clip his leg with while standing too. And then you get that unique juggle. I didn't know that. Thanks, John. I just learned something. I learned something else. So, CDS4 is a pretty dang good move. I'm surprised you didn't hit me with that one time. You probably tried to. When should I learn off-axis combos? Well, the one combo you should learn is off-axis in general. You should learn what happens. Learn one juggle like side hit like this at a weird angle, and learn one juggle like at the back. So when you get those weird situations where you get like a side or a back launch, because you sidestep something, like some of the moves like strings will keep a character moving forward and they won't realign. This was a thing that used to happen to Bake a lot in Tag 2 and earlier, and it still happens to Hwarang sometimes. You're gonna like whiff punish that shit, right? Like, oh, boom. So like, what's your juggle in that situation? It's probably gonna be a shittier juggle than usual, but you know, do whatever it is, whatever. Just get some damage, even if it has to be a shittier juggle. Don't get fucking greedy. You don't have to optimize your combo. Save combo optimization for later. Just figure out a bootleg easy combo to get some damage, and then learn your basics around the game first, and then work on combo optimization later. Same goes for electrics. Don't come in here like learning electrics day one. Don't fucking, you know. Even though it's extra useful for Jin because his is the only way it launches on normal hit. For the other machines, if you don't got electric, it still launches and it's still 14 frames. So, you don't have to worry about that shit day one. What's going on, man? So CDS4 is better than I thought, but it is bad on block. To show you. Oops. Oh my god, I can't even hit back one. Fucking E-Toki stick, dude. Also, I think there's something wrong with my stick. I might need to replace it. The stick part. There's weird funky shit that happens. Like sometimes when I sidestep up at a certain angle, he goes down, you see? This is why, John, I say if you come through tomorrow, you gotta like use this stick to see what the fuck is up with it. This shit is so weird, it's crazy. Anyway. So obviously, you know that, oh, they also nerfed it that he gets block stun like that. I don't think that happened in Tag 2. When you see, that is a telltale sign. When you see that animation on block low, it means pretty much everybody's probably gonna be able to block punish it with a launcher. Except maybe Steve, I don't know, because Steve's while standing launcher, his low punishment is really bad. But Jin obviously is going to get while standing too. Let me see how bad it really is. Oh man, I can't even. Woo! Punish! Yeah, that's just as bad pretty much as Crouch Dash 4 on block. Equal risk. Equal risk for generally less reward unless you hit it off axis. So another thing that you want to know about Jin is, I talked about his jab punishment before, but then he has some really good other good shit out of jabs. 2-1 is also 10 frames, and it's high mid. So this is cool because during pressure, sometimes he might do a 1-2 jab, just for some reason, because you get like 1-2-3 for example, or 1-2-4. Those are two good jab streams. Some people will duck and launch you in between the 1-2. This keeps those people in check, so that's one use for it. Another use for it is it has some pushback on block. And according to this, they nerfed it to -3. It used to be -1, and before that, it was actually +1. This was like the fucking one of the most annoying, obnoxious moves he had in Tekken 4 when this version of it was super infamous. But let me make sure this is right. It was really -3 now. Yep, down forward one is changed. If I set him to block though. Yeah, it pushes back a little bit. Okay, so it doesn't push it back too much. So that -3 is actually kind of meaningful. But it has a built-in follow-up that's further deterrence for them to do anything. He has 2-1-4. So 2-1-4 is safe on block 2. And unfortunately, there's not much reward out of it. Because there's a lot of strings in the game where they have this one little hit attached to them, this third hit maybe, that doesn't combo, but it stops people from mashing after the second hit, like Dragunov has down back 2-1-2, that kind of shit. Jin doesn't have that. It's just a deterrent, like a 21 damage he could tack on that is safe on block 2-1-4. It is -9 to -8 on block depending on range, and on hit it is about even to +1. And it keeps them pretty much at a similar. It doesn't push back much, so you have to like. The risk is that they could force a mix-up on you at -9. That's like a really heavy a disadvantage that you can't really move around in if they're still in attack range. The only time you should move around at that sort of disadvantage is if they're pushed like this far back from the move. You know, that kind of shit. I don't know if it goes distance to a backdash though. That is a lot of distance you covered, so you don't want to go swinging like crazy when you block that against Jin. Because, you know, just one backdash and then a hop kick, or just a backdash to a down 4-1-4 even. It's good shit. Either way it goes, that third hit is a nice little like check, you know. I didn't know it was even on hit. Now that I know that, I might not respect it as much on hit. I usually freeze up when that hits me. So the other thing is, this is a gimmick that a lot of new players like use too much. Not that it's bad. So 1, 2, 3, high, mid. It is +1 on block, right? Assuming it's the same as it was before. So let's test it. I'm pretty sure it still is. right? Whoa, I was too slow. Woo, 0? Was I too slow? Maybe it's 0 now. Maybe. I mean, there's a chance that I'm slow. Either way it goes, that's a good string because you do a lot of 1-2s to train them, and then when they want to do something, you slam them down with that, and then you get like a free grounded hit. So if you look at the damage, that mid is 20, and like maybe that is 21. You can tack on. See, it comboed. That means that's guaranteed. Pretty sure. So that's a good chunk of damage as a deterrence, and it's still like good on block, even if it's not +1. 0 is still good on block. So the thing about that string, though, there's a couple of things about this string. First of all, oh, that's what I recorded already, but whatever. First of all, you can interrupt the 3 with a jab, right? Right, that's the first of all. Second of all, you could sidestep it towards one of the directions. Sidewalk, maybe? Maybe not. Oh, you used to be able to. It could just be me, my execution. Oh, I'm letting you hit me. Block. Alright, so you can't. I take that back. Either way it goes, you can still interrupt it. In Jin's specific case, he could launch it. Well, that wasn't a launch. Let me... Wow, he cannot launch it. Wow. Did they nerf the parry? Or did they just buff all of Jin's recovery? I got a feeling they added some recovery to this. Because I feel like in Tag 2, he would have punished this. Well, whatever. So that's not a useful situation for the parry. But you can interrupt it with jabs, right? So the deterrence for interrupting in the jabs is 1-2-4, obviously. But it's a high. It's a safe high, but it is a high. The thing about 1-2-4, though, is... that 4 does a shitload of damage. It's 30 damage. So that's a pretty good deterrence. It also, before you could sidestep the 3, the 1-2-4 you were never able to sidestep. So, see, you wouldn't even see the start of the sidestepping. And then if you see if I were to mash and jab, he's going to counter hit me. Which, whatever the counter hit damage is. So the thing about this is both of them would lose to crouch jab, right? Because crouch jab is also 10 frames. So he'll duck the high and he'll interrupt the mid, see? He interrupted the mid there. There it is again, right? So that's when you could set up... Oh, sorry. Hop kick. Right? There you go. Or if you want to play it safe, safer, sidestep, it's a hop kick. Play. So the reason I did the sidestep first, it's a hop kick, is you could sidestep to confirm the whiff and then react with a launcher. So you could just go right for the hop kick read if you notice they keep crouch jabbing. Crouch jabbing is like a good defensive tool that everybody has. And but it loses to low crush. The thing about crouch jab is it does shit damage. It's actually high risk against good players. It's only 5 damage, and it loses to sidestep left. Does it lose to sidestep right? I don't know if it loses to sidestep right. Let me see. If it's a 1 jab. If it's a 1 crouch jab, it loses to sidestep left for sure. Yeah, it loses to sidestep in both directions. And you can low parry it. So that's another thing you can do with Jin. 1-2, low parry. So you can basically train them using Jin's 1-2 alone. You have these built-in options with this way to use them to train the opponent. And based on what the opponent does, you react accordingly. So you do a couple of 1-2. Sorry. You do a couple of 1-2, right? And then you notice they start to duck, you do 1-2-3. So then you do like 1-2, 1-2 by itself a couple of times. Not like this, not spamming it, but just in the neutral, right? And then you notice they're going to start to sidestep, you do 1-2-4. You kill the sidestep. Or 1-2 stop and then standing 4, right? And then, so you do a couple 1-2s, you know, in the neutral again. You notice after they block a 1-2, they crouch jab. So you do 1-2, hop kick, or 1-2, sidestep. And then if they whip the crouch jab, hop kick. If they do nothing, sidestep and cancel. You don't have to fully commit to a sidestep. You can just sidestep and cancel. So, somebody asked about defense earlier. One of the things I mentioned is sidestep into block. The cool thing about Jin is he has, I mentioned earlier, the fastest homing move in the game. I don't know how many homing moves at 13 frames, but I know that I'm pretty sure there aren't any homing moves that are faster than 13 frames. This is 13 frames unless it was nerfed. Let me just double check that. According to RB Norway, yeah, still 13 frames to 14 frames started, which means maybe it's 14 frames at max range. And it is -9 to -8 on hit. So it is safe, but it's like heavy disadvantages. So the thing about it is, it's so fast that it kind of fucks with sidestep cancel. Like, it's so fast that, like, let's see if you can see this visually. See, I can't even get the beginning of a sidestep. I can still cancel it to block. I have enough frames to cancel whatever I'm getting into block, but you don't see Jin moving at all, do you? I'm trying. I'm tapping down and then back. Look at my recording. Down, back. Down, back. See, I get like, unless it's like the max distance, right? So the thing about it is, this blows up like sidestep canceling relatively well. The only thing it doesn't do is like, you know, it's a high. That's what's good about a fast homing move. A lot of the home moves are actually fairly slow, like 16 frames and slower. 16 frames isn't necessarily slow overall. When I say slow, I don't mean seeable. I mean slow as in, I could kind of OS my movement to not ever have to worry about your homing move. Unless I sidestep into a commitment. If I'm sidestepping it, like if I have like a read at, he's going to do something that, he's going to whiff a jab here, for example. Right? If I want to like really punish that, I have to, I have to commit to the button. I have to sidestep with the intent of I'm gonna press the button. Otherwise, you're not gonna punish that with, right? And that's just like a jab as an example. But like, you know, a couple of moves recover equally as fast as jabs. That it depends on the move. So that's why, if a good player knows that, oh, this guy's probably gonna whiff, like he's doing a lot of this mid poke and it recover fast, so they might just not react. They'll sidestep and they'll commit to the button off of the sidestep. That's when shit like this becomes even more useful. Or shit like Kazuya's down forward 2, which is a homing mid that is 14 frame startup. So that's one good shit. That's one good use for that shit. I don't know, John, are you still there? Anything else I'm forgetting? I'm only going through some basic shit. I don't know if this doesn't have to be like a full-on character tutorial, but since you're here, you're my Jin expert. Oh yeah, 4-3. So I mentioned cross dash 4 before, and I mentioned that this is kind of a mix-up. So you see the startup is similar to 4-3. You could actually cross dash into both. Cross dash 4, cross dash 4-3. 4-3 means piano. So 4-3, 4-3, 4-3. You gotta input it one after the other. Oh! Yes! Laser cannon! Back forward 2, 1, 2. It is all safe on block. The first 2 hits are a natural combo on normal hit. And actually give good frame advantages, if I'm not mistaken. As you see, he'll block the 3rd hit, even if I counter hit him. Though they did, because of the new counter hit notification, you could actually counter hit confirm. It does a double over stun on counter hit. Double over stun. How do you break them now? They made it easier, I believe. There it is. So double over stuns are breakable stuns where if you don't break them, he will get a launcher or a juggle, right? So you have to tap back, which is good because that's where you press the tap. So the thing about it is you have to let the stick go neutral. Like, yeah, the stick has to be neutral. If for some reason he hits you, okay, I take that back. You don't have to be neutral. So they made this way easier. Before you had to hit forward and then hit back. They made this way easier now, which is good for noobs. So that's just one cool shit. Even if it counter hits, he still gets the second hit guaranteed. Then he has back forward 2-3. Which also is a natural combo on normal hit. in the case, and it's mid-mid, but in the case of back forward 2-3, if you hold forward in the end, he goes into the crouching demon stance, which is something that I forgot to talk about. I'll get into that next. The CDS stuff, it seems kind of gimmicky unless you go in on hit. I don't know how the frames are. John, what do you think? Counter hit, back forward 2-3 juggles. You sure about that? Look. Oh! Okay, I get what you're saying. So what he's saying is, alright, you notice how this is mid-high? It's a natural combo, right? So people are going to start ducking it. Right? Boom. If you get too overzealous with it. That's another use for the down back forward 2-3. Record. He gets a juggle on counter hit. If that were to hit alone. This is an example of what I was talking about earlier with Jin's 2-1-4. And to deter it for people to crouch into while standing punish. Because the thing about back forward 2-1 is you got to be kind of quick. So you got to kind of commit to it real quick unless you have like godlike reactions. And that's one of the deterrents to stop people from mashing. It also makes back forward 2 by itself that much stronger because then you have this safe high follow-up or you have that shit. Which, how is it on block? I think it's unsafe. Right? Yeah, it is. I don't want to save, is it? -12, right? Yeah, it's -12. So it is. It's not a huge risk. In the case of Jin, there you go. You could also. He can see. Here's one he can launch. Yeah, there you go. Can he also do this to the other one? Yep. This is that cool. This is one of the cool things about Jin. You could every time you see a string, you could test the parry. Always test the parry. See what you get. So in the case of the high, he'll just get probably some sort of frame advantage. But the other Jin could also commit to the third hit. Though in that case, he might get interrupted. I don't know. What happens if Jin commits to the third hit? Let's see. I'm curious now. Okay, now you have to block the third hit still, or parry. Right? Nope. 13 frames, right? I was gonna try electric. I can just do the third hit. Nope, that didn't work. I didn't punish. Okay, so 13 frames. If you're fast. It might change the frame data. Hold on a second. No, is it? No, it doesn't. Okay, this is my execution being bad. So it's 13 frames regardless of you parrying a second hit into the third hit or just a third hit by itself. You know, or you can get all full Daigo parry. You have to do it manually each hit though. If you want to do this kind of weird Daigo shit. All there is. And the parry does have some recovery. Like the moment he puts his hands down, he's open to be launched or hit with whatever. Punch, parry, down forward, plus. Oh! Yeah. That is another thing he has. And now he gets a free follow-up off of that, alright? No juggle though, right? He needs to actually parry in this case to get that on the last hit. That's some cool shit. No, not there though. That's the only thing he gets? Yeah, because he does that sort of follow-up hit. So you only get one follow-up hit. Who are you? Oh, is F-Crush in here? Oh yeah, F-Crush is in here. John, that guy named Phone Crusher Plus in my chat, I want to see you fight him. I want to scream it too. Not tonight though. I'm learning tonight. I'm learning and I'm teaching tonight. So down for 1+2, as you can see, is a parry. What's the frames on the block? I never really looked up this move ever since he got it. It's only a punch parry. And it's not a kick parry. See? It's only a punch parry. No matter, and it's like a tight window. Like if his hand is already up, it's too late. His hand has to be in the motion of going up for you to parry. Okay, so it's -10, -12. So he has a -12 punch parry, which you could also set up in similar ways. I don't know how the activation is. Let's see if he could do it at -9. What happens if I jab here? It's too much startup. Too much startup. Down 4. Let's try down 4 into it. I put him at -5 there. John is, you know if there's anything that's -6 or 7? That's so we could test the startup on this. So you know at -9 he cannot do it, but at -5 he can. As a deterrent. Counter hit down forward 2 setups. Like what, John? Jin has a generic down forward 2. So down forward 2 you could group up in tiers. When you see this little short uppercut like this, there's a couple of tiers to this. Jin's is one of the lower tier ones, along with the other Mishimas, but it's good for them. When I say lower tier, not that it's a bad move, it's just a low tier in the case of generic down forward 2. And also that when I say generic down forward 2, that doesn't mean everyone has the same down forward 2. What it means is a lot of characters in the game have this little short uppercut as a down forward 2. So the reason I'm saying Jin's is Jin, Mishima's, not Kazuya, Heihachi, Devil Jin, and this Jin, and a couple of other characters. They're the low tier ones because it does not launch on normal hit. It needs a counter hit. But it is safe. And the reason why it's good for Mishimas, and you might have heard Aris complain about this, that it's such a good move. One of the ways that when they try to fuck up, they try to do electric and they fuck up, right? They'll get a fucking dash into like a down forward 2. And the thing about electric is if you're gonna try to duck and while standing launch it, you have to like predict, basically, anticipation. You can't really react. If you react, it's too slow. So if you try to duck it while standing, they do a down forward 2 instead. They counter hit you and they still get the fucking juggle. Really, really obnoxious. So the same thing applies to Jin. You fuck up your cross dash 2, you get a down forward 2, and then you fucking launch it for it, and then you do your juggle, whatever it is, whatever the hell the best juggle is. Down forward 1, back forward 2, 1. You're saying down forward 1 on hit? Is that what you're trying to tell me there? In regards to the other tiers of that down forward 2, the next best tier, I guess, would be the ones that do launch. Those are also safe on block, not all of them. We're talking about like Law and Paul are the two more well-known examples. I don't know about any other ones that launch on normal hit that are similar to theirs. Theirs is safe on block, but it only launches standing people, so it's a whiff punch. If they're crouching, it does this animation still when they get lifted off of 1 foot. Yeah, that's the Law and Pause, and it's still safe on block, like -9. Then you get into the shit like Leo. Hers is also like 15 frames, launches only standards, but she gets range from like back here. It is -12 on block in the case of Leo, so that's what she gets in exchange for that better range. I know Yoshimitsu has one, but I don't know how his frame data is. He has one depending on which sword stance he is. Before in Tag 2, in no sword stance, he had like a really long range down forward 2 similar to Leo's, but his was safe on block. In this game, I don't know what they changed, but that's what I meant by like tiers of generic down forward 2s. You'll get those ones that are like, oh, and you'll get the ones like this that don't launch unless it's counter hit. Then you'll get the Law and the Paul ones, which launch standing people only on normal hit. Unless it's counter hit, then it launches regardless. And then you get the shit like Leo, who gets more range. Still does not launch crouches unless it's counter hit. But then, because they get more range, it's unsafe on block. And then Jack has the fucking mother of all down forward 2s. But his is more like a proper launcher. It launches crouches, but his is -14 on block. And Jack has the crazy big robot arm, so he launches you from like right where I'm standing right now. His shit would reach the other Jin. This shit just crashed on me. Hold on a second here. So down forward 1 on hit is not that. Hold on, Jin. Is that what you're getting at? They nerfed the frames. Down forward 1 used to be better on regular hit. Ooh, this is interesting. Same animation. According to RB Norway, on counter hit, he actually gets +6. On regular hit, he gets +4. In Tekken 6, I think this used to get +7 on hit, but it was shitty on block. +4 on hit. So +4 on hit means it's a decent frame trap. Well, not really a frame trap, but it's a decent setup to go into back forward 2. Back forward 2-1. Because back forward 2 is 15 frames. So they would have to jab to interrupt you. And the thing about back forward 2-1 is this is +6. So at +6, excuse me. At +6, you're in range to set up counter hits. Like standing 4, I guess. I don't know. What are his counter hit tools in this game, John? He has a knee, right? Back 3. So maybe it's like this. It's a back 3. Back 3 gives you a juggle. Similar to standing 4. Right? And then whatever. Alright, test. We exchanged. Is that knee 16 frames? That needs 15 frames. Why are we exchanging? Am I too slow? If this move is 15 frames, then this should exchange. Right? Makes sense. If that's +5, then a jab should exchange with that hop kick right now. No, okay. So +6. I was just slow with the knee. Either that or the knee is actually 16 frames. The knee is probably 16 frames. RB Norway's frame data is a little funky because they're still going by arcade frame data, and this game got changed ever since arcade. Test down forward 2. What do you want me to test about down forward 2? Down forward 2 is 15 frames. It's gonna work off of back forward 2-1. Even if it exchanges because of the new mechanics. Oops. You gotta like. Another thing about Ace Scraper is you could delay every hit. I forgot to say this. Look at this. Back forward 2, 1, 2. He even does like a little shimmy because he's like about to go into neutral. So anyway, that's a really good string. That is so fucking. You could delay every hit. He has all these things built into it. It does everything you want it to do, basically. It might duck the jab. Nah, just beat it clean. So yeah, that's a frame trap for down forward 2. Can I sidestep? I can still sidestep. Probably not left though. Yeah. Another rule of thumb for a lot of moves in Tekken, a lot, but not all, when it comes to punches, if they're swinging with the right hand like that, especially in the case of an uppercut, you can want to sidestep or walk in the opposite direction. This is not universal. This is more for like general, generic like moves. Like if you're for example, if you're playing it online and you want to try to like, you don't like if you're in the middle of a set, for example, you're not gonna stop and go into training mode. So if you're trying to figure something out, like which way do I sidestep this? Consider that and try that mid-match. That doesn't mean it's gonna work 100%, but there's a decent chance that it might work. And then go to training mode later and then actually figure it out. Important question: do you prefer this stage or Infinite Azure for training? Twitch Prime. Why does your name look so weird? My chat glitchy as fuck. I prefer Wallace stages, and there's only 2. There is one other Wallace stage, but it has to transition into the final round of the volcano. This is one of the Wallace stages, so I go back and forth between it because I get sick of the music. Speaking of that, I'm gonna switch to the other one. Oh no, I can just go here. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna pick a wall stage now. Because we should talk about his wall stuff. Let's go to the arena. After these pokes on hit 2-1. Okay, so you're trying to you're just talking about like counter hit setup off of down forward 1. You're just talking about frame data. Just general frame data. Let's see, 2-1 on hit is 2-1 on hit is +6, so yes. Down forward +1 is +4 on hit, so no. Not for jabs at least. And back forward 2-1, yes. So look, I'll test down forward 1 for you right now. Let's see if it's the +4 shit is true. Yeah, +4 is true, John. Let's see what happens if I do 12 frames. It beats 12 frames, that means 11 frames would exchange. It loses to 10 frames, beats 12 frames, it's +4. So, down forward 2 is a counter hit setup off of back forward 2-1. 2-1, the regular string. 2-1. So, it's assuming that this frame data is right? Let's just test it to be sure. Yep. Just in case he was ducking, I tried to crouch jab. Down forward 1 got nerfed, yep. Down forward 1 got nerfed on block and on hit. So his down forward 1 pressure is not as good as it used to be. It used to be all encompassing, man. That fucking down forward 1 would keep you in check. Can you still do 3+4 from Law's DSS? I do not know, Pikatati. I will check for you after this. Can you explain what to do when you are plus on the move? Like, what are the options such as sidewalk? Never understood this concept. I remember you talking about theoretical setups when testing Lucky Chloe. Full crouch down forward 1. Okay. The rule in Tekken, historically, I don't know if it's still the case in this game. You could sidestep up to -4, fine. You know, you could beat, as long as the moves don't track, you could still sidestep fine. In case you don't know what I mean by tracking, it means, oh, if I say this move tracks to my left, it means if you sidestep to my left, it's going to hit you, right? Homing moves universally tracking on both sides. When you get to -5 is when shit starts to get funky. Down +4. Shit. Alright. Assuming this is still -5, how can I test this? Oh, yeah. This is how I can test this. Not -5. When did they make this? Did they buff this, John? Is this 0 now? Huh. I mean, it's not. John, they buffed it. They buffed down forward, not just on block. Wow, this used to be -5. That's pretty good shit. It's at least it's at least -1. It's beating out my 13 frame move though, so it's not -3. So it's at least -2. Definitely not 0 though, because I'm beating him out with my jab. Oh yeah, it's -2 on hit. Good shit. Good shit, John. Good shit. All right. How do I put myself at -5? Let me look back through this frame data real quick. Down 4 used to be -5 on hit. It is now only -2 on hit. It is now also only -13 on block. John, you don't have to go for high-risk lows all the time. You do it to me, though, because I suck. But, oh, here we go. On block, this is -5. Back forward 2-1. Did I go over Oki? I did not. Not yet, Angel. Yeah, when my friend John's playing early, he takes advantage of me because I'm bad at ducking in general. I'm even bad at block punishing lows. One of the many things I have to improve on. So like, he was just hitting me with this shit, setups into this shit all day. But it, you know, when it gets really good players, you don't want to take that risk. So it's good to have a really good low poke, which this is great. Look at this range too. Really good range. Did they give it back this too? They didn't give it back that. In DR, this used to knock down on when you hit opponent behind, and I think you can get another one for free, or just really good Oki in general. So according to the frame data, I'm going to test this now. This on block, oops, is -5. Yep. So I exchanged with a 15 frame move. So that's -5. So here we can test this now. Okay. See? When you're at -5, oops, I had them hit me there. Just to show you, it's not that the jab is tracking. See? Jabs don't track naturally. Mash. So I'm going to record this again to make sure it's not my execution. That was me buffering it. So I know that was good. So at -5, you can no longer sidestep jabs, but you can still sidestep linear mids. See? That's a 13 frame mid. Can't sidestep cross jab either. When you get to, let's say, -7, maybe -8, that's when you become unable to sidestep linear mids. Like in a -8 situation, point blank, this he would be unable to sidestep this down forward 2, for example. Can you sidestep jabs at -4? Sure, I'll test it. Let me find -4 though. What's a -4 situation? Oh, I know a -4 situation. I just found one out, didn't I? Let him hit me with a down forward 1. He's at +4. I'm at -4. So and then he does the jab, right? Woo! You might be able to sidestep left. No. So this might be part of that like sidestep nerf. This was okay. No, see, it's me. I'm bad. Or it might be Axis. So I should talk about that too, actually. Let me make him stop right now. One of the reasons why Axis is important, I'm off Axis to his left right now. Now I can sidestep. So this is another rule that you got to know about how sidestepping works. Frame data matters in an even Axis situation, but it matters less if you're not aligned initially. But oh, I'm an idiot. I'm sorry. I blocked it. Sorry. Yeah, I'm an idiot. Sorry. That does matter though. What I was gonna say. Because that was the thing I remember from Marduk in Tag 2. When a Steve player, he would do that sidestep 2 punches and then sway right. When I would block the 2 punches and I know the sway was coming, I would try to down forward with Marduk, which was a tracking fast low. And he would get around it in that situation. Well, one thing that also matters is distance. But in this case, it doesn't matter. As long as that down forward 1 hits, you cannot sidestep. Oh! Right when I say it. Right when I say it, huh? Tekken's weird like that. I'm trying to make it happen again. Ugh, not block. I just did it again. I heard it. It just happened there again, didn't it? Yeah, no, it's funky. So it seems like inconsistent at -4. It seems inconsistent at -5, you definitely cannot. You don't even see the beginning of the sidestep before he gets pushed in the face. So, all right. So rule of thumb, -4. Let's go with -3. Down forward 1. I'm not good. Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, down forward 1 works for that too. So when I block down forward 1, he's at -3. So I got to put myself in -3. So now I put myself in -3. Sidesteps find a -3. I'm realigning. Let's go in the other direction. Ooh, that might be a bad sidestep on my part. Let's see. Always test multiple times. Alright, for some reason he can't sidestep this direction. That's weird. Woo! So this is just a weird and specific case here. But, like I said before, at a negative... oh, then he gets hit by that. What about here? This is one of those things, man. Depends on the move your opponent throws out. General rule of thumb, I guess, let's say -1 to -3, you could still sidestep. -4, you probably can still sidestep anything that's not a jab. You definitely can still sidestep anything that's not a jab. -5 is where it starts to get hairy, and then above -5 is when you're gonna start getting hit by like 13 frame mids, for sure. And at -7 to -8 is when 15 frame mids will hit you. So to give you an example, Dragunov, his 12 frame block punish, his -12 punish is 4-1. It leaves him at point blank at +8, right? I talked about this in the end of my stream yesterday. Point blank is important. Like I said, range matters for this stuff. It's hard to set up here, but range definitely matters for frame data. When he's at +8, his down +2 and down +4. Down +2 generally for Dragunov you cannot sidestep. Down +4 you can sometimes, I think. But when he's at +8, it's 15 frames since down 4. You cannot low crush it. I should just show this off so you can see what I'm saying. I'll go back to Jin afterwards. Because this is important. I really want to get this out there. Also, not all sidesteps are created equally. So Jin's sidestep just might not be as good as other characters' sidesteps. Sergey. Let's just record himself. Yeah, that's another thing I should mention. Jin just might have like an in the middle of the road sidestep, but if you're Lily, you could probably sidestep jabs at -4 fine without trouble, which I will test for you. I don't want to just tell you that and just have you assume. It's also good for me to know. Alright. So, you see that shit leaves them right in their face? So, right? If he hits me, I'm not sidestepping that at all. Right? And then I have this low crush here, this up forward 4. I'm gonna let him hit me. Nope. I have up forward 2. Nope. This is a new low crush launcher for Dragunov, by the way. Normal hit. I don't see anybody use it though. Can I up forward 1? Nope. Up. On block I could do it. On block I could do it. But when he hits me, I cannot. Up forward 3? Nope. Certain moves crush earlier in the move, in the earlier frames. Generic hot kicks do not. They need something like 7 frames, 6 frames. Some examples I could give you off the top of my head. Elise's back +3/+4 would crush that low in this situation. So the reason that's cool though is on counter hit, this is actually all combo. And if you look at the animation, that's a regular hit. On counter hit, his leg gets like knocked up into the air. So what I'm getting at here is, oops. When Dragunov connects a 4-1 like this, he has a legitimate 100% 50-50. You cannot sidestep away from the low or the mid. And in the case of down 4 and down forward 2, you also cannot interrupt them unless you have a power crush, obviously. No, sorry, he hits you out of the power crush stardom. You saw it? I turned white. So I wasn't sure about that. I'm glad I tested it. Power crushes have stardom. Maybe they all have different stardom. I don't know. I haven't gotten really to the point of testing those moves though. I could probably zipper him. Well, of course you can zipper him. I don't need to test that. That's obvious. And like I said, down +2 in general, you cannot sidestep anyway. But in this situation, you really can't interrupt it with too much either. Look, I tried a 12 frame mid right now. See? He counter hit me. I'll cross jab though. We exchange. We exchange. And when we exchange, I bet you he could launch that. I bet you. Not that anyone should be fucking cross-jabbing in this situation. So here's just something in case you're fighting against Dragunov or you're using Dragunov. If you're using Dragunov, this is obvious, the power of this. If you're fighting against Dragunov, if he hits you with 4-1, don't fucking press anything. Don't move, guess. Of course, I bet you, like, certain characters are able to do certain funky shit like that. Backswing blow will work there. Because I knew this going in because down 2 has shit range. But maybe down 4 we're connected in that situation, but... get your fucking juggle. So, yeah. Oh, you want drag info? I don't want to. I was doing the Jin stuff. I want to go back to Jin first. I'll do Dragunov a little bit after. So that's a general rule of thumb for sidestepping. So if you're looking through your character's move list and you see, hey, this move is +7, this move is +8, this move is +9, and then you do the move and you notice, hey, I'm right in this motherfucker's face when this connects. Remember what I just showed you right there. Look for the frames on your lows. Look for the frames on your mids. If it's 15 frames, maybe even 16 frames, I don't know. They're not gonna fucking be going nowhere. And then you do your business. That Mishima Dojo music, I really like it. I want to go back there right now. Kerms, I'll go back to Dragunov for you a little later. Definitely remember what I just showed though. 4-1 is the juice. Yeah, range definitely matters in tracking, for sure. No problem. I'm glad I could help, dude. So back to Jin. One move I forgot to talk about is back to 1. This is a good way to get in people's faces with some sort of advantage on the whiff because the distance it covers is a lot. It's not a huge reward on hit, though. And it's only +2 on hit. It is -9 on block. So remember, the Dragunov thing I told you about is the inverse here. You're putting yourself in that situation. That's what -8, -9 means. Unless you push back. If you push back, then -8 doesn't matter. If I set him to block, right? See? You're pretty much right in their face. Only a little bit with that. But you're at +2. On hit, which means you down forward 1 is okay. It's not 100% frame trap, but still, being in their face, well, not right in their face, but being here at +2 is nice. They could still sidestep as I just showed you earlier. -2, you could sidestep jabs, fine, at least with Jin. And you're spaced out a little here, so shit might get a little funky for tracking. Not really though. And when you're spaced out a little bit like this, then you want to watch out for backdashes. Like if I were to do that and go into down forward 1, which would be a popular follow-up, right? You would assume. Let's go with jab first. That would be a frame trap, right? Let's go with down forward 1 after. Let's see what happens if I backdash the jab. Ooh, look what we have here. What happens if I backdash the down forward 1? Oh, I didn't do it. Ooh, down forward 1 got a little bit more range. Yep, down forward 1 got you covered. Good shit. Oh, no it doesn't. Oh, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Oh. Ah, you're safe enough. You're safe enough to not get launched. Not that. Okay, you can still get hit with it. So, if, for example, here's a good anti-Jin advice. If you're fighting against a Jin and you get hit by this, see what you get out of backdash, right? And then when you're in the neutral and you get hit by it, you can anticipate. I'll backdash with the intent of seeing that come out and then punishing with a down forward 1-4. And the cool thing about backdash is it's safe to backdash as long as you're holding back. You notice I'm blocking it every time I'm fucking it up. So it's a safe attempt, no matter what. Unless he goes low, obviously. No backdash cancel required. Just double tap back and hold back. So there's something that I want to test right now that I heard that they changed in this game to make it more noob friendly. Let's see. Alright, double tap back and let go. It looks like you retain auto guard. This will be a better way to test this. Interesting. You don't have to hold back during backdashing anymore, huh? Double tap. Fucking do the backdash, asshole. Looks like it. Let me block it and do it. Yeah. Woo! What's up, Vince? You don't have to hold back during backdashing anymore. That makes learning backdash canceling so much fucking easier. I'm so jealous of you motherfuckers coming in for the first time. Do you have any idea how much grief that has cost me in the past? Getting clipped all fucking day by mids? So now, during your backdash cancel, the only time you're vulnerable to mids is during the duck duration. Like right here, right? See? I did the duck part of the backdash cancel. So as long as you minimize the frames of your backdash, this is a good way of testing now I think about it. You want to get a good clean backdash cancel? Try to block that and do another one. And try to get one clean backdash cancel and still stand block after the fact. Right? Little exercise you can make for yourself here. Yeah, I'm sloppy though. Yeah, see? Anyway. Yeah, pick a top tier. You totally could let go of the stick during the backdash. That is fucking huge, dude. You guys have no idea how good, how crazy that is. Alright, this music is fucking hype. I love it. So anyway, back 2-1 is +2. So as I showed you though, you gotta watch for backdashes. So you're not at like that amazing of a situation. If I were to guess, this would blow up backdashes, but it would lose to jabs. I mean, I should just show it, shouldn't I? Well, not blow up backdashes, but it would. You would be unable to backdash out of the range. If I were to guess, just guessing here. Yep. You still backdash cancel the same way. Farfane, what I'm saying is before, in Tekken Tag 2 and before, and I think this might even been the case in Tekken Revolution, which was the first super easy Tekken game. If you were to backdash and then let go, you would be vulnerable for something like 20 fucking frames. Like, boom, and I would still be getting hit. Right? If this were Tag 2, I would have been able to show you this, but it's not. Now, even though I let go, you're retaining your auto guard. Tekken has auto guard. Look, I could have him record and do shit. I'm not pressing anything. I'm gonna fucking block it. So what's happening? What happened before is any sort of movement would cancel that auto guard. Now they're letting you retain it off of a backdash. So that makes it easy for noobs to not get easier to get more used to backdashing and not get fucking blown up while they're trying. And then it adds this, unless you're like really used to the game, you know, getting hit out of back, it adds this uncertainty. It becomes like, did I fuck up the cancel? Did I not hold back? You're not sure. Now you know what happens if you get hit during a backdash. You know that I was ducking maybe too long, or I got hit with a long range low and I didn't duck long enough. There's no question. That uncertainty is gone completely. And that's what I like about it personally. Somebody was texting me before, I think. John? Oh, he's telling me shit on my fucking phone? Tell me in the chat, dude. 443 out of... okay. Out of wave dash makes it. Why is he telling me it's on my phone? He lying down and he's like got his fucking tablet over there. He doesn't want to get up and type. You motherfucker. Okay. So he just reminded me of something else. So let me get back to the good shit here. The Jin shit. Right? So, that's a cool thing I just discovered here. This is why I like doing this stuff for you guys. It helps me too. Wave dash is a thing that you're going to want to get good at eventually. Jin has one. Right? You know what? Before I get to this, let me get to the easier shit. Wave dashing is too crazy. Let's go. Let's talk about CDS. Crouching Demon Stance. Back +1 to go into it in the neutral. And speaking of crouch dash, if you hit down and then down forward during the stance, or even if you just hit down, even if you hit down forward, you don't even need to hit down and down forward. Just down forward perfectly. You go into a crouch dash. Another cool thing about this stance is it buffers one forward input. What do I mean by that? Forward 2. That's you press forward twice 2. You press back +1 and then forward 2. You will get forward 2. Back 1 forward 2. Back 1 forward 2. Forward 4. You press back first, forward 4. Back first, forward 4. While running 3, you press back forward 3. You get a while running 3. Off of a running start though, not instantly. He does like a big step forward before doing it. In case you don't know, while running 3 is for a lot of characters. If you see that big jumping kick, it's what is known as a slash kick. Slash as in like a slasher movie, knife or something. The rule for them is they universally give heavy frame advantages on block. You see that animation he's stuck in? While he's still stuck in that animation, I'm already swinging. So while running 3s are really good, but they're slow and they lose to like sidewalk both directions. I think they lose worse in one direction than the other. So if I were just to, let's say... Nope. Brain fart over here. Oh my god. I'm noticing I'm having a lot of trouble executing shit on the 2-piece side with this stick. I might have to fucking do something about this stick. I paid like $250 for this shit. This is what I was talking about earlier, right? You get that Korean stick, you think it'd be great. No, you're not. Oh my god. You just saw me do it easily on the 1-player side. So you know I'm not bullshitting you. You know what? Let's do this. Just because I don't want to be stuck here all day. I want to show you guys the stuff. Where's the reset options? Switch positions. Here we go. Now I can record on the 1-piece side. I love that. That wasn't in Tekken Tag 2. I just don't think it was. You kidding me? Are you kidding me? Fuck the jab then. I'm just gonna... Alright. Just so you can visually see it. Alright. So if you're wondering how bad it is on like against step, let's see. You get the back too. This is the side that it covers better, but you could still sidewalk, I think. Oh. Maybe not. Jizz is my hat. There it is. Distance matters. Remember, longer range, you're gonna sidewalk everything. But if I'm like too late when he's up close, he's gonna hit me. Because it's think about it this way: you play 2D fighting games, hitboxes, hurtboxes have to align. Same thing about Tekken, except in the outer Z-axis. So he clearly has a hitbox sticking out towards his right, which is the foot. The foot, he has the knee kind of bent and he kicks outward. As long as you're avoiding that hitbox, you're good. That's why distance matters for sidestepping. which is just a complicated way, you know, just explaining it, I guess. By the way it goes, in the case of Jin, you sidewalk right, and then you get all sorts of fucked up shit. You know, that's when you start seeing people connect 10-hit combos on the rear and shit like that. Historically made, the 2-piece side is supposed to be easier if you're on a Japanese stick. I'm on a Korean stick. So the 1-piece side is fucking easy as hell for me. Look at this, how sluggish this shit looks. If I'm on other Jin, white Jin over here, white power Jin, I could almost get a fucking, I said, there it goes, there it goes. You're gonna get that rhythm. See how, and then, just earlier I was doing like back-to-back electrics, no problem. On the 1-piece side. And then on the 2-piece side, I couldn't do it one time. Anyway, whatever, fuck it. I'm not a Mishima main, so that's why I can't electric properly. You do want to learn electrics though, so when you training mode against them, you could practice against the electrics. That's why you want to eventually learn electrics, even if you're not a Mishima player. It's also fun to do. So anyway, back to CDS, right? So CDS, you could buffer 1 forward input. So CDS forward 4, forward 4, forward, CDS forward 2, gets you forward 2, right? This is also a really good move, by the way. As far as the actual moves out of CDS, he has some new shit. Shit that he didn't have before that I'm still unsure of. For example, CDS 3, that's a new move. It looks homing too. And it causes that spin, which means it causes a wall splat. Yeah. So I don't know the data on that move just yet. I'll test that in a few. Then you have CDS 1-2, which is a natural combo. Good string, nice damage. And then wall splats, especially from far away because the first hit pushes it back and then he gets the second hit. Really good shit. But that's unsafe. I think it's -12. I'll test that in a second. Then you have CDS 2, which auto sidesteps right, has a ton of pushback on block. I'm unsure if that's unsafe at all. It might be unsafe at the wall because at the wall sometimes you don't get any pushback. And then I talked about CDS 4 earlier. Now, I know he has some new shit out of CDS, so I'm going to look through his move list real quick. This is where we start getting into the Tekken 7 specific stuff. Crouching Demon's Dance. Mental Alertness. That's what they call CDS here, Mental Alertness. These are the grabs. This music is fucking tight. I love this song. There it is, Mental Alertness. And Mental Alertness 2. Mental Alertness 2 is CDS. I forget what Mental Alertness 1 is supposed to be. Whatever, fuck it. See? So we got 1, 2. We got 2. As I thought, CDS 3 is also a homing move. So it's a homing move and it causes corkscrew for juggles. We got CDS 4. CDS 1+2, he's always had that. This is the new one. This is what used to be CDS 3. They mapped it to CDS 3+4 now because CDS 3 is that new homing move. And they mapped it that way probably for juggles. So, he has that. It's a high, but they gave it a nice buff. I know it's plus on block. I'll check the data for you in a bit. But they gave it a unique, let's see, how can I do this? It's a juggle thing. Okay, I don't know how to do it. Basically, if you were to connect on a juggled state opponent, it like pushes them into the air so you can continue your juggle. So there's unique juggles you could get off of that now, like maybe this. I don't know how to do it. John did it to me earlier, so he knows. But there is like juggle usage for that move, so it's not completely useless. And then CDS 1+2, which is high launcher. It pushes back like crazy on block, if I'm not mistaken. At least it used to. Yeah, but it is unsafe. It's actually launch punishable. It was. So now I'm gonna go through these moves and double check the frame data on them because a lot of shit has changed. Let's swap sides again. Maybe you have to crouch dash 1. Electric crouch dash 1, right? It would have to be electric. I kind of want to show it off so you can see what I'm talking about. You know what? It might work off of this. Woo. Yeah. How about it's a high, that's why it's so finicky like this. Yeah, only eat normal hit. You need a counter hit before. You need a counter hit to launch it otherwise. See? I'm saying the electric cost S1 launches higher and recovers quicker. Whatever. Alright, let's go through the CDS moves here. Yeah, that's awful tracking in general. It is also unsafe on block. Negative 13. Negative 14. Okay, negative 14 on block. You can also delay him, like, really heavily. So even if the first hit is blocked, that second hit, you won't combo. But if it's blocked, I'm saying, it's a deterrent from them doing anything after the first hit. And the first hit is safe. It's gonna take a while for me to get that down, Vince. I'll have to put a space. Huh. Why is it not? How do I do CDS for this? Man, well, whatever. I know the first hit is safe. Let's record. Jab into CDS 2. That's negative 10, negative 13, negative 14, negative 14. Yeah. But if you want to see the auto sidestep in action, it also looks like it high crushes. Ah! It might just be a high crush in this case, unless you're late. So one like the thing about the CDS is he goes into it out of his strings too, so it's kind of gimmicky when if it's on block. Like yeah, it still catches him there. But in the case of the block, it'll still beat the jab. Which means the universal way to punish it, whether he goes into that or not, would be 13 frame mid for Jin. Because this by itself wasn't safe. Anyway. So yeah, negative 14, but it has that lean back that makes it duck jabs. I think when it's spaced right, if you just do it in a neutral situation, you're gonna avoid mids too. Like, if I just do it. Oops. That's interrupted. I gotta time it right. We exchanged there, so that's the timing issue. Whoop. Just down forward one just might track well to that side, like well enough to stop it. Not in general. I know, like at the round start though, if he like at the round start, you're pretty much this distance. Yeah, right. So yeah, that's just more him avoiding it. That's not really that he's ducking under it. He's leaning to the right. So that's why you'll see it at the round start a lot of the times. A lot of players like to do it, especially just at the round start range. Another good use of resetting, by the way. Nah, I was gonna say it pushes you back, but no, I don't think it doesn't. You could punish it consistently regardless. You could also just backdash and launch. And people do it at the round start. That's how you kind of punish that. So yeah, that's another thing. I'll bring that up. Sage just brought it up. When you reset, you're in a round start position. So if you want to test punishing stuff, just record it and then wait for it here after the reset. Forward 4 combos. I'll get there. CDS 3. I don't know what the data is on this move. It's safe. Mid homing. Okay, so like that. What's 16? You know a 16 frame move on top of your head, John? $16 frames. I know this is at least -5 so far. Let me scroll up here and see if I did anything. They gave me 16 frames. Down 4 beat it, and it's supposed to be 16 frames. It's forward 4? Oh, so this is probably something like -8 or 9. Yeah, I don't have anything slow. Jin is generally a really fast character. It's like I'm having trouble finding really slow shit for him, you know? He's always at around 16 or faster with a lot of his shit. So you're probably looking at -6, -7, at least -6, if not worse, with that move. I would guess since it's a homing move, I'm gonna get a homing mid especially. I'm gonna guess -9. I would need another character to test that. And then I did CDS 4. I showed it off before the tracking, so we now want to show this, right? Another thing about that, it has like shit range. Look at that. It's 2 hits. It's supposed to be. I can walk into it. See? It's also all highs, so it pushes back. Yeah, so they might have made it safer because Dragunov used to be able to forward 1+2 it, but I can't tell here. But you can tell because of his pushback that if it is still unsafe, you're not gonna get much. But it is high risk because it's a high. All right, so keep that in mind. Oh, another cool thing about that is, at least before, let's see. It does that kind of thing. So if you end a juggle with that sort of string, you could, like for example, you do a tailspin, fucking, I don't know. I just gotta take it to the wall too fast. If I would've just, you know, and then you would run up and get the wall combo. So that's what's cool about that kind of shit. It adds, essentially, you do your full wall combo and then you tack that on in the end. It sends them flying. It sends them flying that much more to hit the wall so you can run up and do your business. So it's really good, a really good ender for that sort of situation. Not for damage though. And then we got CDS 3+4. The former CDS 3, right? Let's go 13 frames after it. Oh, it's at least +5. I felt like I was slow. Oh, it's gonna crush, so I gotta crouch jab. Yeah, it's beating my crouch jab. I wonder. I forgot to say something about that low, by the way. I'll do it right now. Okay, not that good. So what I've heard to say about that low, this low from before, down back 4, is on counter hit. He gets a juggle. You pick up with back forward 2-1. No, you don't pick up with back forward 2-1. You used to pick up with back forward 2-1. Now I guess you pick up with back 2-1 maybe? Yeah, you pick up with back 2-1. I guess they wanted to lower the damage. You used to be able to. Yeah, you used to be able to back forward 2-1. You might have something better. I don't know. So this fucking CDS 3+4, 3+4, at least +6. It might have variable frame rate in a situation like that where he got up and blocked it because it has a lot of active frames. I don't know. Oh, really? No, it doesn't seem to be working. Unless you're talking about that setup. That? I mean, is that what you're talking about? I mean, if you're gonna do that, do a fucking juggle. Oh! For new players, I'm gonna say don't. Just back to him. Don't go through that headache, please. What's the difference in damage? Alright, look at this. This is how you can test juggle damage. You saw how much trouble I just had floating with this? This is 25 damage in the neutral. Back to 1 is also 2 hits, 22 damage in the neutral. What's the difference? What does that turn into after scaling? Well, it's gonna be like 1 or 2 damage. That's a new move. I'm trying to get the fucking charge, damn it. 34 versus 36. For 2 less damage, you remove the headache of having to delay that shit. Save that for the gin nerds like my friend John. Yeah, he has that. That's the armor move. I don't. 3+4. It also does that during juggles. He's got like a Huarang style. It looks cool as hell to me. Because he kicks you in the air, it sets up like a soccer kick. The damage doesn't look all that great though. What is that? 7? It's a 2 hit, first of all, so it's going to scale separately. Look, it goes 70%, 66%. So it's taking the scaling off of that first hit. And that first hit is only 10 damage. So it's like a swag combo. At least it sends them flying across the fucking... While it won't give you a wall splat, that says it doesn't look like it gives you any good Oki either. It does send them all the way over there. Here, it would probably give you good Oki. But if you're gonna get a juggle, if they're in a juggle state in that situation, why would you do that? You'd do your fucking carry to a wall combo, wouldn't you? What about at the wall? I don't know. You're sacrificing all your wall damage for a possible good Oki. I would have to see a really nasty fucking setup for that to be worthwhile for me. Unless you could do some hits into that and end it with that. Anyway, getting too far ahead of myself. I'll get to the wall stuff later. So that's how the CDS stuff works. You know, in the neutral. This seems like a really good move in my opinion, especially at the wall. Speaking of that, let me test what the range is like on that shit. What's this like on shallow block? So on shallow block, it kind of keeps them where they're at. It only pushes them back a little, but it does put some distance between you. So like if you were spacing this at the wall, it might be alright, but you don't want to whiff that. It's not that, you know, the range isn't that great. That's a big whiff too. Look at that. Like, even a brain dead like motherfucker like me could get a launch out of that. So maybe it's not that great at the wall. In the neutral, maybe it's alright. It looks like it crushes highs, but that's just the CDS naturally doing that, I think. So that's the CDS moves, though. And I went through CDS 4 before. Now I want to talk about forward 2. It's another important move for both Jin and Double Jin. Demon Paw. This is an amazing move. Sand guard. This turned into a full-on Jin tutorial, didn't it? Shit. It does some pushback and it's safe on block. I don't know what the frame data is on block though, like what exactly it is. Let's see. Jin, forward, plus 2. This is like one of his trademark moves though. Okay, this is the one I remember. It's negative 11, but because of the pushback, nobody's punishing it. To show you that, I'm gonna do it like this. Alright, I should jab into it so I can do the sidestep too. Cass can punish with 442. Cass's 442 is... so Kazuya could do back 1-2 because it has good range. That's cool, that's rare. But, isn't there another situation though with this? Let's see. Let me see. Oh, third direction. Switch. This situation? Is he pushing sub back enough? I guess he is still. So, this is like a matchup thing, like my friend is mentioning. Jack has a 10 frame Punisher forward 2. It does garbage damage now because they nerfed it and made it a counter hit tool. It's that palm thrust that on counter hit it sends them on their ass and he gets the free boot. Kazuya punishes this hard. I'm assuming you're talking about back 1-2. The name is familiar? What can Cass punish with? I'm assuming it's back 1-2, John, right? Kazuya has a really high damage 11 frame move, back 1-2, and also wall splats. Because Kazuya's jab range ain't gonna reach that shit. So if he's talking about a move punishing that, that's the move. Still, this is an amazing move, and it's also like a really good wall splat too. It's a really good Oki too. If people, like, there's a lot of situations where people will tech and they'll move because it looks like they can, and that shit would clip, like the tip of that move would be right there waiting for them like a meaty in a 2D fighter. And that shit will hit you if you try to sidestep, it will hit you if you try to input a move, it will hit you if you try to do anything. Have I run into any problems for any matches online? Yes, the PS4 version is broken online. You could play private matches perfectly fine though. But right now there's a bunch of havoc being caused on the PS4 version. I don't know about the Xbox version. The PC version is fine. Aris was streaming it for like 8 hours before, and he had no problem connecting to most of his ranked matches. Back 1-2 is 12 frames. Back 1-2 used to be 11 frames. So if they changed it, then it changed it now. Nah, it's 11 to 12 frames according to RB Norway. So it might be a spacing thing. I mean, do you want to just see? Right? Why speculate when we could just do this? Oh, I was playing private matches with my friend in the chat earlier. Then I guess it's extra fuck now. It's a good thing I'm doing training mode. Yeah, no, that's the best I can tell you. We just played like 30 matches, and it went fine. And we ended it like an hour ago, or an hour and a half ago. Where the hell's Kazuya? I mean, most people should be doing training mode shit anyway, unless they're like already really good at Tekken. I think that Mishima Dojo music might be my favorite new song in the game. At first it was the Jungle Outpost, which is still a really great song in my opinion. And that Akuma, the last round version of that Akuma stage, is pretty fucking hype too. But that Mishima Dojo music is fucking hype. Well, you wanna just show off on stream while I'm gonna be frustrating trying to execute, doing shit like tapping up but going down? This is me tapping up right now. Because this is how stiff this stick is. If I just tap up and let the stick go to neutral, which is something that I naturally always have done, because this stick is so stiff, right? So in case you're wondering, the stick I was using before this was the Mad Catz PS3 Korean stick, way looser. This Itoki stick, whichever the Itoki Omni Korean stick, the one that it comes with, it resets to neutral really fucking stiff. I do notice after some usage it is getting looser. But good God, dude, you really have to break this shit in. Anyway. Let me not get crazy with electric. Like, every time I play as Kazuya, it's like, let me start doing electrics like crazy. No, I gotta get away from that. Focus on the task at hand, right? Nah, John. You gotta tell me, John, what's the move? Yeah, the KE stick of the Mad Cats was very loose. Too loose, honestly. That's my only problem with it. I was considering going back to it. I'm like, nah, I threw down a lot of fucking money on this stick. If I have, I'm either gonna break it in or I'm gonna buy like a replacement and see how it feels. I don't like doing multi-man rooms, John. I'm done with that. I'm too old for that shit. If I'm gonna be playing Tekken, I'm gonna be playing Tekken. I'm not gonna be waiting online. If you want multi-man lobbies, this isn't the place to be. Not on my stream or on my watch. So, John, you gotta tell me what is supposed to be punishing this, because it's not back one. The range isn't there. 2-2? No, not quite. Not 4-1-1. I changed the Infinite Azor music. The original music is alright, though. That used to be the case? Alright, so no. NYC Fab Stiff? Sure. You know what's funny? When people in the NYC scene started using stiff in that way, I'm used to the pro wrestling version of stiff, which is to say when you strike, you hit hard to make it look good and legitimately, but not hard enough to like injure or knock out your opponent. So when GM started going, yo, that's mad stiff, and Fab starts saying that shit in person, I assumed they meant that. Like, oh yeah, they're wrestling fans, especially GM, right? Yeah, that's what they're talking about. And I felt like the biggest fucking idiot because I was like that for like months. And then I realized, oh, you mean stiff like that? This whole fucking time. I thought you meant this other thing. I don't know where the fuck that even came from. GM would always make this weird sound. He would go, bad stiff. I don't know if he's still like that anymore. I haven't like talked to him in so long. He's a funny motherfucker, that guy. A lot of people don't like him, and I get why, but he's quite funny when he's not being annoying. Anyway. So I was talking about 4-4-2. So it is -11. I bet you Jack could probably still punish it, but even if he could, it's like that fucking palm thrust. I know my friend John there, one of the setups he liked to do was like 4-4-2. It's a hop kick because of that pushback. I don't know how good that is. That's like some gimmicky shit, maybe. Let's see. remember this, John, in the DR days? 4-4-2 on block hop kick? That's why. Oops, I gotta block it. I'm an idiot. It's -11, but because of that pushback, 1-2 will catch you. But you know, down 4-1 will catch you. So I do feel like they've lessened the pushback on this. I feel like before this wouldn't happen, like you wouldn't exchange. Either way it goes, that pushback is enough that if Jin backdashes instead, you're gonna whiff anything that you fucking do, right? Let me go. Right? Oh, I got a sense of this. See? I don't know if he's gonna be able to whiff punish something that fast, but he could get himself the fuck away from it. And you know, any low, you basically have to chase him down. And when you chase him down, that opens up doing a move on the spot. So you have to put yourself in the risk to do that. And the advantage is on my side for blocking that at -11, but it's not as big an advantage as you would think when you see -11. That's that classic shit. 4-4-2 into Cancast was the telepath. I wonder how that guy's doing. He was a really nice guy. Last I saw him, he was working for the MTA. Which, fuck the MTA, but he's a nice guy. As far as how you sidestep this, ooh, you don't do that. It follows the rule. It's a right-hand move, sidestep away from it. I feel like double jins you could sidestep left, though, and from a distance, you could sidestep it left, right? Ooh, he turned with him. Look at that shit. There it is. So, here's another thing about Tekken sidestepping, right? They did this in DR, I think. In DR? Is it in DR? When the move's input has forward built into it, it is a dash. Dash is realign. So that's why that one time that you saw me try to sidestep left and kind of turn and hit me, that doesn't mean that it tracks. It improves the tracking. What it means is it lessens your window to sidestep. It means that you would have to sidestep later, basically. So he has to already be swinging the move. If you sidestep early, you know, you're going to get hit, see? But if you sidestep during the startup, you're going to get away. But when you're up in his face, though, the hitbox catches you because it has like a hitbox coming out of his fucking shoulder, apparently. The psychic hitbox. Look at that shit. That shit almost hit in his rear. Look at that. I could side throw him if I were to grab him that. How does this look? I realigned myself with the parry because he parried in this direction. That's interesting. 442 is best used at a cross dash. I will get to the cross dash stuff soon. Either way it goes, 442, very important move. Forward 4 is also important. This is a force crouch on hit and on block. And on block, it, assuming it is the way it was before, it used to be +4. And according to this, it still is. What the fuck? Okay, this also has variable frame data because it's active the whole way down his foot. So RB Norway is saying this range is from +4 to +7 on block. Interesting enough, it is saying that on hit it goes from +8 to +11. So what that makes me wonder is if you were to time this on somebody where the end frames were to connect off of a tech, would you get a free 2-4? I don't think that makes this that amazing, but I feel like I want to see this. I want to see if I could do this. I gotta find this out. This was the thing in Virtua Fighter. Jeffrey had a move that was like this, where he like slammed his foot down, and if you were to catch somebody on block on Tekken, it would give him like +17 or some shit, and he would get free follow-ups. That's why I kind of want to test this right now. Yeah, buff to 444. Let's see if this is true, John. We want to look at the wake-ups. Stand up, right? Side roll. So let's see. We want to side roll, but we want him to get hit. So we want to stand. And we want to see if it combos, right? Is this where it's... No, that doesn't work. What am I doing? Hop kick. That's not what I want to do. Not set. This is the one. Quick roll. Let's go right. I feel like it would be easier if I put him right. No. Left. It's my right. This is tech. Quick roll in the training mode. When people say tech, this is what they mean, right? I guess I'll explain this too. So you see how when you let him fall on the floor, he gets up really fast? That whole animation from him getting up off the floor, he's invincible. Like, I'll do it down 4. Whoop, too early. There it is. See? It went right through him. But if I time it just right, I'll catch him. And when you time it just right, it works because he's invincible during the get-up. It works like a meaty in a 2D fighting game. So if you see a person teching and then sidewalking in that direction a lot when they get up, you could probably find something that you could stick on top of them and it'll fucking catch them and they won't be able to sidestep. Just like the frame data rules, you can't sidestep a -8. If you have a meaty on top of you, you got no frames to fucking move and it's gonna hit you. Which is what I was talking about in regards to this. My friend has like 1,000,000 setups. I got hit by all of them. You get up, you try to sidewalk, this shit is right on your face, and just boom, you ain't going nowhere. So let's see. It forces crouch, John, so I would have to crouch jab. This is hard because he's gonna. Yeah, it's hard to do in this situation. Because the tech also makes it move right, so the alignment is fucked up. How about this? Quick recovery is the holding back shit. Oh no, that's the kick up. Whoops. The rolling and back quick roll. What's back quick roll now that there's no quick roll? It's kind of funny that they kept calling it a back quick roll. Like that's what it was called before. Now though, it's not fucking. There's no back roll. So this is. He's too far in that situation. Now that hit him grounded. That's another thing. This move is grounded. So it's a good Oki too. Well, anyway, I'm not able to test it, John. Tech her off and back to 1. Do it in the corner after a knockdown. Okay. What knockdown do you think, John? No, that's not gonna do it. Everything's gonna wall splat. Oh yeah, by the way, Jin's 10 frame wall splats. Get up! What's the wall combo? So you're trying to find a practical use out of it. The thing is, he stays down because it counts as a hard knockdown. So I gotta have him do. Wow, there's no way to have him do it out of this. Wake up backwards, all I got. Yeah, there it is. Oh, 3-1, 1+2? Nah, it hits him before he gets up. Tech, I guess. You wanna try a tech? Let's go left. Yeah, it looks like he gets up just in time, but it doesn't hit in the later frames. By the way, that is a good setup for that. You just saw that. If he were to get up and try to attack, that 4-4-4 would probably counter him. And on counter hit, it causes a knockdown for that. So that's just a good setup in general off of his wall combo that I just did, which was wall splat. In this case, 2-4. It's just 3-1, 1+2. So I want to talk about buffering in here for a second. If you have trouble hitting multiple buttons, right? That's 1+2, right? I said that wall combo is 3-1, 1+2. There's a buffering trick. If I were to... Fuck. How do I get out of this? If I were to hold 1, right? I'm holding 1 and press 2, I get 1+2. So you could do that wall combo as 3-1, hold 1, and then 1+2. 3-1, hold 1, 1+2. 3-1, hold 1, 1+2. Whoops. So if you have trouble like getting 1+2 like me, sometimes I'll do 1-2 instead or 2-1 because my middle finger is a lot longer and fat as fuck with the sausage fingers. You can make it more consistent with that buffer trick. Yeah, I mean that setup it just gets you the full forward 4 that they can't get away from. It doesn't give them like a late hit on it. John, you're gonna have to explore this. Do your crazy magic and find like what wall combos might set this up for you. Off of a tech. If I were to guess, it would be some shit like this, and then you would cancel it. And oops. Oops. Huh. Ah, interesting. So remember I talked about back 1 buffering a forward input? The transition into CDS out of moves does not buffer a forward input. Nope. I tried forward 2 out of that. But if I try back 1 forward 2, you get it. That's interesting. I didn't know that. 4 2, wall splat, mid wall splat. It's a good one. 2-4, good wall splat. Down forward 3-4, wall splat. That's your fastest mid wall splat. No, sorry, it's not your fastest mid wall splat. 1 + 2 is your fastest mid wall splat, and that's 12 frames. But remember, it's unsafe. Back 4, okayish range, safe mid wall splat. Standing 4 now will wall splat if you're aligned like right up against the wall. See? Like his back has to be touching the fucking wall. Like not even a pixel if you were to say. See? If he's not really touching the wall, I gotta push him into it. Then it'll do it. What else wall splats? Electric. Forward 1 + 2. Wall splats. Hard wall splat. CDS 1-2. Wall splats. Same wall combo every time too. CDS 2. Wall splats. In the case of CDS 2, looks like you could sidestep and see you get this whole shit. And in this stage, you could take him to the balcony. It looks like so. If you have CDS 2, sidestep. Ugh, I'm mashing it. Why am I mashing 4? Ugh, stop it. I'm sure if I forward 2 there, he's gonna go through the balcony. Oh, not quite. I'm thinking. I know there's a way I can do this. I gotta think about it for a second. I tried to CDS 1-2. You know what? I could probably do this. Yep. And then you continue to juggle from there. You're welcome, John. I know you didn't know that one. But that's only if you wall splat like with something that, whoops, it's gonna take us back upstairs, so it has to load. Like if you wall splat with something like this, you might not get it, see? You gotta like visually be able to tell when you're wall splatting off axis. That does wall resplat though. So this is where we're talking about some advanced stuff here, when the kind of shit I'm trying to do. There's like wall resplats and shit like that that would give you longer wall combos, and then there's like that weird side walking shit. See, if you're off axis though, even with this, I can still get it. What I was doing before. In that case, he re-hit the wall. That's just something you gotta like just go into training mode and test with your fucking wall stuff like crazy. All sorts of fancy fucking setups, right? Because hitting people off axis the wall happens. You sidestep and then you sidestep, they threw out a jab, you're gonna hit them in the side. And then you hit them in the side, you'll get like unique shit like that. Anyway, in general, they'll do 3-1, 1 + 2. Who the hell is going to use CDS2 at the wall? Good question. People do. Sidestep CDS2? Why not? Look at that angle that I get. I could probably get way crazier full-on wall carry from here to this balcony and then send them fucking flying. Yeah, as John said, using the CD to stop sidestepping out of the corner. So Jin has no fucking shortage of sidesteps at the wall. He did take a slight nerf because the bound is gone. He used to have something for this here, and then this with bound and tag 2. That's gone now, so let's see if he has any new shit off of this. Oh, John, it works consistently now. Remember this? Remember how hype you were when I found it in Tekken 6 and then we were less hype because it didn't work? With the wall rules here, it looks like it's pretty damn consistent to me. He might have something better. I don't know. Nope. Savage Sword, yeah, exactly. I was like, well, SS? What are you talking about? SS is sidestep. No, his SS he's saying in the chat there is Savage Sword, which is down back 2-2-3. That's Savage Sword. I remember we got hyped because I found you were looking for a way to convert CDS at the wall like CDS4. Like, you gotta find something good for that shit back when it was a new move. And then this didn't bound in Tekken 6. So I was like, oh, this kind of resplats him high. Looks like it works more consistently here, though, because of the wall rules. So that's your wall combo off CDS4. Don't delay that 3, though. You can delay that 3 kind of heavily. It'll fuck it up. And maybe you get better Oki if you do this. Maybe not. It doesn't work out. Alright. So that's that. You can threaten with that low. You can also threaten, of course, with this low at the wall. They can't backdash away, so why the fuck not, right? And this, if they press anything during this, remember, you know, anything other than a jab, they're going to get wall splatted. This will also frame trap into this, but that's actually -10 on block, maybe worse. It also is duckable. You know, you start doing the 1, 2, 3 pressure at the wall. You can do 1, 2 backdash CDS. If they do anything, CDS 1, 2, CDS 1, delay it, go low, up forward 2. Alright, if I can talk about forward 2. All those sidestep moves, safe on block. This is pretty good. I don't know if he still gets anything on the side though, John. Do you know? Does he still get a free launch? Because of that animation. Looks like it pushes back. Yeah, it looks like it does. This used to get him a free, like Dragunov's up back 2. He does that big high punch. He would get a free down forward 2 if it hits you on the back or on the side. Jin used to have something like that with this up forward 2, but as you can see, that animation fucks it up in effect. This is a counter hit juggle starter, I believe, though. Oh, it's a counter hit knockback. So on counter hit, it yeah, this wall splats on counter hit, which is another nice tool. If they're mashing when it shouldn't be, boom. Alright, I'm going to end this by talking a little bit about crouch dash. So this is something that if you're a new Jin, you're watching this back or whatever, you're not going to want to like think about this too much at first. You just want to think about just inputting the crouch dash moves, even if it's slow. Just worry about that. Slow. Good whiff punish. Crouch dash 1. -12 off block. You get a launch. Don't worry about electric. Crouch dash 2, if you're not going to electric, it's not as useful, but it does give you a counter hit juggle on you know, like that. And just know that you don't get a tailspin. That takes your tailspin. To show you that again. See? No tailspin. So you got to convert your juggle differently. Crouch dash 4, I talked about it before. You know about that. That's the big low. You get the juggle. Crouch dash 3 is basically his while standing 3. It's just one of his homing moves, and it's a way for you to threaten when you go to crouch dash, you know. So as you get better at the crouch dashing, and maybe you're working your wave dashing and shit, you're gonna be able to start to do a lot of different moves at a crouch dash. One of them is forward moves. So John mentioned this earlier. Crouch dash forward 2. Crouch dash forward 2. So the crouch dash input is forward, neutral, down towards. In my case, I'm doing a quarter circle forward. That works too. See, I'll get a clean one. There you go. You see that last one? That last one ends at the diagonal there, and there's a big gap between the forward and the down. That big gap means neutral. If I wasn't doing neutral, it would just look like this, and I wouldn't be getting a crouch dash, would I? But when you do the neutral, you get it. And then, you know, you slowly do it faster and faster until you're able to do it much faster. So this is more worthwhile to do faster than the backdash cancel. You don't want to do the backdash cancel fast because then you're going fucking nowhere. Look at this shit. You want to get the full backdash cancel, right? The Korean backdash cancel. But for the wave dash, you can do this shit over and over again. That's a big threatening tool because every time your stick goes into that down towards position, you get access to the crouch dash moves, which includes electric, which is the one that stops people from pressing buttons. It's 14 frame high if you get the electric, and it's +5 on block with that pushback, right? So that's the deterrent for people to stop people from mashing out of this, right? But then you could also do up forward 4. You could do up forward 4. You could do up forward 3, which is oh, sorry, I'm getting way ahead of myself. You could do up back 3, let's say. It's a weird move. On counter hit, up forward 3 and up back 3. That's a counter hit juggle starter, so that's a fancy move. You could do cross dash 4 tilde 3 to mix up a cross dash 4. That's 4 tilde 3. Piano 4-3. That is unsafe on block. You get like they get a free grounded hit. And then you can get instant while standing. Now here we're talking about, like I said, end game shit, eventual shit. You're not gonna get this right away. So if you do the cross dash motion, you get to the down and towards part, and then you input back plus your plus any button, you will get while standing. Now you got to input the back end of the button as if it's a just frame, like right at the same time. So if I do cross dash back 2, I get while standing 2. See? Seamlessly. Otherwise, you get the scrubby way of like delaying, and then that delay gives it away. You want to be able to do that instantly. That is not as useful for regular Jin as it is for the other Mishimas, because the other Mishima's health sweep is very fast. That's what I was getting to, John. I got ahead of myself when I did up 4-3 by accident. Jin and double Jin have a unique thing about their crouch dash. I talked about while running 3/kick. Both Jin and double Jin are able to do that if you do a crouch dash to up forward 3. Same thing about, it's like, there you go. You do crouch dash, it takes a little getting used to. You get that. So that's yet another good way to threaten with that move. And people are gonna be afraid to press buttons. You do this, you do that shit a couple of times. They're gonna move maybe. You can crouch dash 4-4-4. You can crouch that. He doesn't have 4-4-1. And one more one, 4-4-3. This is +1 on block, I believe, John. Right? +2 to 4 on block, according to this. So this also has variable frame data, but let's just say +2 to be safe. Oops. We're doing a 2 jab. No, let's do 13 frame rate actually. Oh, fuck it. Let's do standing 4. Yeah. Because it has a built-in 1. 4-4-3-1 is a built-in move. And you do 4-3-1-3-3. 4-4-3-1-3-3. That 3-3 again is plus on block. He also has it naturally out of neutral if you hit forward 3-3. You have to hit the 3-3 really fast. Boom, boom. Boom, boom. Which also knocks down a normal hit. So that's a cool move. You can also do that out of crouch dash, by the way. See? What I'm getting at, in case you can't tell, is you could do almost your full moveset out of crouch dash still, and you add the crouch dash moves to your moveset, and you're adding while standing moves to your moveset in the neutral. That is the power of wave dashing. In case you're wondering, wave dashing isn't just to make electrical line, it does that too. What wave dashing does is it gives you access to like almost all of your moveset at the same time during your neutral. Usually to do that kind of stuff, you need to duck and then do some shit, you know? You have to like add that, but here it's like, oh, I could just throw while standing from there, or I could just cancel it to a stand, tap up, cancel. You do a crouch dash, you tap up, you can cancel, go right into a 2-4, right into a standing 1-2, right into a standing 4. Crouch dash, tap up, 3, whatever 3 is, right? So keep that in mind. So crouch dash crouch dash realigns all the moves that you do out of it also, so it adds like some realignment to linear moves. 4-4-3 being one of them. Oh yeah, crouch dash into while standing 3 is the same thing as is crouch dash into 3. Crouch dash 3 is the same thing for Jin as while standing 3. So you don't have to use the while standing trick for this. You can just crouch dash into it. That stops people from sidestepping, because sidestep, in Jin's case, right beats his electric. 4-4-3, I was testing, right? Okay, I recorded this already. +2, so 13 frames. Fuck. Oh, he should do 1+2. Oh man. That fucking one makes it so hard to record. There we go. The buffering trick helped with that. Yeah, +2. See, we exchanged with the 12 frame move. Oh yeah, I should go on through here. So this is +2 juggle starter on normal hit. Back forward 2-1 picks up. Back 2-1 picks up, right? And you do whatever the juggle is from there. You might even electric could pick up, I'm sure. Yep. Man, you gotta do that shit real fast. By the way, you might notice in the case of regular Jin, regular EWHF is 20, electric is 5 more damage. I think his is the only time that happens. The other electrics for the Mishimas don't do more damage. I think that's unique to Jin. He has this string 1 down 3 4. Oops. So the thing about this string is there's a use for this. So if that low counter hits you, that the second low, the third low is guaranteed. The reason that's good is he has 1-3-3. His good old bound move from before. 1-3-3. That 3-3 is still plus on block, just like the other ones. It doesn't force crouch though. Oh wow, they don't have the frame data here. Let's see if this changed. Woo boy, it's at least +4. +6? John, how much was this before? +6. I feel like this wasn't +6 before. Whatever, +6 is really good. So the whole thing about that is, you know, it's a jab. That's a slow move, right? Like, let's see how slow. I can hit something with 13. I can hit something with 14. You can hit something with a fucking hop kick. Look at that. You can hit something with 6 frames. You can interrupt it quite a bit. But +6 is really good. So the thing that it deters people to stop mashing after jabs. That's when you mix it up with one. You know, you mix it up with this. It's yet another reason to deter people from mashing with jabs. Not only that, it makes his one jab that much better. You one jab into this. When people start mashing, you can do like you can just do the whole string. The thing is, like, when you get that low coming, people can low parry the third hit. So you don't want to abuse that string. First of all, they compared the second hit. It wasn't like that in DR. If the second hit hits them, they have to low block the third hit. But low blocking the third hit means you can block it and you punish that shit with whatever. If they block the second hit, I think they can low parry the third. Yeah, see? But like I say, what's going to happen is they're going to get hit by the second hit and then they'll check the third. And then not launch punish you, unless it's Kazuya. But Jin can get that. So that's why that string is good. He has other strings that I haven't gotten into yet. Like, he could do 3-1, 3-3 also. But you don't want to ruin 4-4-3, excuse me, 4-4-3-1, 3-3. 4-4-3-1, 3-3. And then that has the same thing. He could do that 1-3-3, he could do that with forward 3-3. Same move. Force is knocked down on hit, by the way, so like a free down 4 maybe. But you don't want to. You want forward 3 by itself because it's plus on block already, and it's a launcher. It's a juggle starter. Like 4-4-3-1-3-3 is gonna fuck up your juggle, and 4-4-3-1 you can still juggle, but it's gonna be shit damage because you already took the 60% scaling with that jab. See, you're adding 3 damage to the beginning of your juggle, taking away to 70%, and then the next hit does 50%, and you're fucking up your juggle. So if you're gonna do 4-4-3, just do 4-4-3 by itself. All your info is from tag. That's why we're double checking, John. So yeah, that's pretty much like, oh man, that's way more Jin than I expected to fucking cover. Holy shit. I'm kind of tired too. I'm glad I went over some of this stuff because there was a lot of changes here that I wasn't ready for and I checked it out. He has some other gimmicky strings and shit. 3-1-4. That's a low that you should never get hit by and you can duck that high and shit. 3-1 is like good for wall combos like I showed you. Back 3 is a good counter hit knee. I think it's 16 frames, like we checked earlier. You know, and on counter hit, you get that. I ain't talking about tracking in general because, you know, I mean, I could go into all that. I'll probably go into that some other time. But just remember, he has standing 4 for tracking. He has while standing 3 for homing. And while standing 3, if it hits him out of the air, it will wall splat. And if it hits him out of the air, it'll tailspin. Oh yeah, oh, I forgot about the big one. One of the big moves. He has so many good fucking moves. Jin is a motherfucker, dude. Forward 4, man. Woof. So this is just a really fucking good move. This is just... Look at this. That pushback, man. Everything whiffs if I try to swing at him at this range. It's only -5 to -4 on block according to RB Norway. How's his track? It doesn't track great to that side. Doesn't track well at all, right? And then the disc is the same thing. So it's a big whiff. That's what you want to be careful, right? But the thing about this move is, on counter hit, he gets a juggle. The easy juggle is to dash up. It's a back to 1. And you want to delay the 1. You want to go bop, bop. Because if you do it too fast, I think it fucks up the juggle. Fucking charge, asshole. Thank you. Look, if you delay. See how much trouble I'm having hitting multiple buttons? Jesus Christ. Is this the... Ooh. That's new. John. He has the lead back 4. Yeah. Juggles get weird. Counter hit. Oh, man. Oh? Oh, okay. So the thing about forward 4 is he transitions into CDS, right? And the thing about it is, on block, if he transitions to CDS, you want to cancel it. So if you don't do this, you're going to get stuck in CDS, you're going to be unable to block, and you're going to be forced to do a follow-up. And you don't want to do a follow-up, CDS follow-up when that is blocked. On hit, it's okay, but when it's blocked, you don't want to do that. So that's why I was trying to look for a juggle without CDS, but then I forgot you could just do this and cancel CDS with down forward, hold forward, down forward, and then press back right away. And then you can pretty much make this safe. You have to like really cancel this like well though. It's like pretty advanced to do this. Like you want to almost not even see him go down. Yeah, so that's something you want to get used to with Jin. And the reason you want to do that, it always go into CDS, is it makes the combo off of this easy. 4-4, hold forward, just hit 3, and then you get the tailspin. And then you do whatever the juggle is, like the one he said there. Which is... What is that you're saying? You mean down forward 1-4? No, the CDS Forward 4 forward. Back 3 forward? Oh, John, you getting crazy with that juggle. Are you kidding me? He's saying to fucking cancel. Yeah, you getting crazy. You don't even need a cancel to do that. You could just run up and do it. Maybe not. Don't do what he's saying. Go into CDS and do the forward 30. Do the shit he's saying for later. He's saying to go into CDS, cancel it, and then do this, and then hold forward. That goes to CDS too, by the way, if you hold forward. And then cancel that. Do I play King at all? I have not, but I dabbled in him a little bit. I think my friend did. No, you played Armor King, right, John? Yeah, so I covered like most of the good shit, but he has other good shit too that I didn't cover. He has so much fucking going on. I ain't even talk about this Power Crush. His Power Crush looks good. What is that on block? Safe? Looks like it. That pushback. Excuse me. Yeah, looks safe, dude. Good shit. Well, I don't know what this is supposed to be on block. I was just checking. I didn't even look it up. It doesn't say what it is on block. Interesting. It just pushes back. So his Power Crush looks really good because, of course, it's going to armor, right? It's going to give him that damage. It tracks that way, step. It tracks, looks like it tracks walk too. But nah, you have to step it right. So they kept Jin's weak side right. So sidestep right versus Jin. I didn't know this, John. I thought it was left like all the other Mishimas. It covers his strong side. Does Akuma Shoryuken beat armor moves? I doubt it. I'll find out, I guess. Let's see. Why not? I'm not gonna go over Akuma's bullshit now, though. That's like I gotta sit here for a full day. Ladies and gentlemen, though, that's Jin. In a nutshell. There's more going on there, obviously. But if you know, I think I gave you guys more than enough to learn, like, to start learning Jin or to start learning how to fight against Jin. I mean, was that not enough? You can tell me. There's 10 people left. Everybody else got tired and left. Now, where the hell is this asshole? Yeah, John, your armor move looks really good. You should consider using it more. It's a big whiff, though, so.
Get ready for the next battle.
Ooh, this jump feels good. I didn't think it would feel this good. It really feels like Street Fighter 4. More floaty, obviously. I mean, oh yeah. It's funny because he's like hopping back rather than a typical backdash. Alright, so we want to record Jin doing... Look at me trying to wave dash Akuma. Alright, how do I get myself meter? looks like EX does. It whiffs. Yeah. Jab DP loses though, but heavy DP, he hits the armor and he goes all the way up. In this case. So it's not that Akuma is invincible, it's that he's already above the kick by that point. So you'd have to test every armor move against Akuma. And the EX one just beats it clean. It goes through the armor. Of course, lows also beat armor. Oh, John, I don't know if you know this or anybody else, but if you get grabbed during an armor move, you cannot break the grab, no matter what the grab is. So grabs like are a hard counter to armor moves.